Hi, welcome down to the Devon Koi pond on another bank holiday Monday in May. Not such a nice day today, very overcast yesterday, but the sun's glimpsing a bit today. It's a bit miserly all day yesterday. I was going to make this video, but I decided to hold off to today, so we had a bit more light. Today we're going to be talking about foam on the water, what causes it, why it looks so ugly, why it's not doing your filters or pond any good to have it in there, and how to get rid of it. Well, there's a lot of practical methods, like skimming it off the top with a skimmer net, or taking it out with a surface skimmer. Now this is a common type surface skimmer setup here. This one sits on the bottom of your pond. It's telescopic. Goes up and down. You can set the height of the basket and it with the top ring to the height of your water, and it's got a bit of float adjustment in it, which it does itself. Now I've used one of these on my pond and I kind of adapted it a bit because it's not going to fit on the bottom. I didn't want one of the big ugly skimmers popped in the wall, and to be honest, they're expensive and they're quite awkward to fit. And I had two ideas of doing it, and this came out as number one, so I did it like this. So I took the basket, so went away. So what we got here then is a nice basket. What we need to do is get it mounted. So to mount it on the pond, it's got a circumference of probably about 500, so 50 centimeters, so it's got quite a wide draw on it. What I did was use this, a bulkhead fitting through my pond, and then the skimmer head sits on top of it. Right. This works excellently. It's not on the bottom of the pond, it's halfway up. It gives a nice draw. Now this pulls foam and all surface material off the pond, dumps it into your filter, so the organic matter that's on the surface and the proteins that are causing the foam get pulled into the filters, caught in the filters, and it's gone. It just goes with your filter waste. Now a lot of you will have noticed if you've got bubbles on the surface of the pond, when you throw your fish food in, when you feed it with bubbles and they're already on the pond, you chuck your fish food in and the bubbles will dissipate. This is because the oils on the food break down the surface tension and the bubbles just disappear, but it's still on your water. Also, after you put the food in, you can see the oily sheen on the water. Well, this pulls that oily sheen off the top of the water and dumps it into your filters to be cleaned out. Yeah. Simple idea. Very cheap skimmer compared to the wall mounted ones. Very easy to work with as well. You don't have to cut a big chunk out your wall to let the skimmer in. And placed about this far off the corner, it will give a really good draw on the pond. And there's an added bonus with doing this. This entry point here. This is or draw off point. This is your draw off point here. Come winter time, if we get a really cold snap and you don't want to be pulling water off the bottom of the pond, I don't run the skimmer in the winter underneath the covers anyway, but with the skimmer head off in the winter, you can just have the skimmer on, drawing water into your filter from about a foot below the surface, 2 foot below the surface, however far down you decided to set this one. And it'll take the water from there rather than off the bottom, which is the warm spot. The water on the bottom of the pond is always warmer, so if you pull water through your bottom drain in the winter, it's going to cool the pond down. It's going to take all the water down to the same temperature, and you'll end up with no warm layer on the bottom. But pulling water from a couple of foot under the surface, your water will stay still on the bottom. So if we have a really cold snap, like another beast from the east, you can actually shut your bottom drain off and just rely on your skimmer to circulate the water through your filters. Not that you've got much bacteria in your filters in the winter, but this is a good aid to that. So this is what I found works skimmer wise for me. Wherever any of you like the idea and think you can adapt it for your pond, I'll give you a look down around the pond a minute, see what we're doing and how the veg has been growing in the last week. Plastic ducks are always happy in the pond. The koi really like them because the pellets stick around the side of the ducks and they come up and bash them around. We're in today. Ignore the 14.2 temperature. That temperature gauge has never worked very well. The other one is spot on. We're at 17.7. Okay. Good flow of water going around the easy pod. The cress has now definitely started to yellow off. It's not dying, it's still growing, but it's starting to look a bit yellow, so I think it's eaten most of what it could get out of the water. The water test kit used this morning was an NT Labs, and all the test results came back absolutely spot on. Nothing wrong at all. Over here in the veg, I'm really going to have to do something again. I'm going to have to ditch half of this. I almost don't want to pull it out, but it's starting to block in the back. The water mint over there starting to get crowded in, and it's really badly coming out over the edge of the pond here now. As you can see, it is going always looking for more water. It seems quite healthy, but it is yellowing off. So I'll have to take a bit more of a look at that. Maybe use a soil test kit on the water, see what minerals it's been gobbling. Fish were fed a while ago, so they're a bit spooked at the moment. I've topped up a little bit of water this morning as well. But everything's running down here fine. I hope all's good with your ponds.